Welcome back to Geek Shuffle, and it is once again a Comic Corner. It is one of the first Comic Corners, and it might be one of the last Comic Corners on Fridays. I am still debating what to do about Friday. I might, I will continue with comic videos since I am doing a lot of comic stuff in my personal life. Um, Comic Crate will continue once a month, and I am thinking about continuing doing once a month video about a comic subject. So Comic Crate once a month and a subject video once a month. And it might not continue on Friday. I'm not sure I'm going to continue doing Friday videos. So I will might keep it to 2 videos a week, starting in August. But we are here to talk about the animefication of comic books, not manga, because manga is something different. It's comic books from Japan. But we have Marvel, DC versus Marvel, Marvel versus DC. They have both dabbled in the anime style in their comic books, and it is very timely. DC just announced their collaboration with some anime studios to release 4 projects, as far as I remember. Releasing 4 anime projects. The first being Suicide Squad Isekai, where Harley Quinn and Joker and other characters will be isekai'd into an anime world. And if you don't know what isekai means, it just means you are getting teleported from one world into another world. Often it is our world into a fantasy world. That is the most common trope. It can be from a fantasy world into our world or 2 different worlds, so forth. A lot of different. Isekai is by far the most popular anime trope at the moment. If there are 30 shows released in a season, maybe 10 of them are isekai shows currently. It is so popular and has been for a couple of years right now. Starting with Sword Art Online was not the first, but it was the most popular when it was released. It is not the best. It was just very popular just when it came out. We're not going to argue about quality. I like Sword Art Online. Some of the stories I like Alicization, like Gun Gale Online, so forth. Back to the subject. But Suicide Squad Isekai brought up this subject of animification of comic books, just not anime. DC had other dabblings in their anime into anime. We have Batman Ninja was a very popular movie where Batman was a ninja. That is very telling. And we have a new released series that isn't directly anime, but is anime inspired. My Adventures with Superman. I will try to add visual help as I just talk in here in this intro section. And again, Marvel has their anime dabblings on the anime side. Going back 10 years, they had an 12 episode Iron Man series, Wolverine series, X-Men series, Blade series in collaboration with Japanese anime studios. And they had an anime film, Iron Man Rise of the Technoware, and Avengers Confidential, Black Widow, and Punisher. And they have a newer series going up 5 years ago, Marvel Disc Wars, which you probably, if you are a newer generation, you might have seen on Disney Plus, which had 51 episodes. This was a multi-brand stuff to release toys and stuff, and the same with Marvel Future Avengers, which had 39 episodes, which was also a multi-faceted release to cover some toys, some other stuff as well. Back to comic books. Now that we quickly went over the anime stuff that they are dabbling in, if we start with DC, they have a manga one shots right now in Japan that will release in English in the English markets. Three manga. I'm adding the images right now. A Superman, a Joker, and a Batman manga. They will release in English later. But that brings us to DC, which we're gonna start with. But they had these 10 years ago as well. Ami Komi Girls. And I believe the target audience might have been teenage girls, maybe, because all of the heroes in this were younger versions of the superhero girls from DC. So the main target audience might have been teenage girls, but again, because it's DC, the DC fans will buy it as well. And it's anime inspired, so anime fans buy it. It has a wider reach. I bought it because I like anime. I liked anime 10 years ago when I bought these. I bought them when they came out. It released in 2 volumes. Again, this is number 1, featuring Wonder Woman. A lot of other characters in this as well. So you get Wonder Woman in an anime style. Number 2, featuring Batgirl and Robin, the female version of Robin. And then we move on to number 3, featuring Dwala Dent and one of her early, modern. I know she is an older character. I said something else in the 3D Comic Corner. I didn't know at the time. I'm sorry. Featuring Dwala Dent, and then number 4, featuring Power Girl. And I just found out in my comic crate, I talked about because they released a Power Girl special number 1 for this year, and I said I hoped they released a new Power Girl series because it had been a while since we last saw, and I just noticed there will be coming a new Power Girl series in the fall. So I've started to pre-order her because I like Power Girl for many reasons. So we will see her in the comic crate in December, I think, or something. October, November, December, something. New Power Girl series. Number 4, Power Girl. And number 5, Supergirl, featuring Supergirl. But again, it is a running story, but they just wanted to feature a specific character on the cover because maybe they are introducing to a new audience. So that makes sense to feature a specific character on the cover. But I just want to, something I really don't like that they sometimes do on comic book covers is running ads on the cover. On the back, fine. On the inside cover, fine. But don't do this on covers of comic books. It really ruins the aesthetic. And then we have volume 2, where they have been introduced, and they dial up the anime a bit. It's the same artist, I believe. No, it's a different artists. One of the artists is different. And we got this time they feature a new villain, Rise of Brainiac, and it's the entire team on the cover in the volume 2. Rise of Brainiac continues, part 2. We see some struggling. Brainiac is also female, so they keep the all-female theme. Everyone is, I think the term is gender bent. I'm not sure I like that term, but that's fine. Jade and the Green Lantern, also all female. Very, very anime. Sinestra here. And then Wrath of Sinestro continues. Also very, very anime cover. Very cool. Number 5. 6. Earth in Crisis. The Shocking Conclusion. Number 6. Yeah. And then we get Raven and the Hellions, Trigon. They didn't change her dad. That wouldn't have made sense for the series. So Raven's dad is still her dad. And the Hellions in the background, very cool. And number 8, Big Barda, White Canary, Mira, all very, very anime, very cool. White Canary. And other than the manga, and please correct me in the comments if I forgot something. Other than the manga that will come later in the fall, and these Army Comic Girls, I think that is the only anime inspired comic books from DC as far as I could find. But it is very solid run and very consistent. This release from 10 years ago. And then we move over to Marvel, and they had also 10 years ago. That is the thing. If one side releases something, the other one will counter. They released something called Marvel Mangaverse, an initiative called Marvel Mangaverse, where they released a lot of stuff. They had a collaboration with Shonen Jump, where they released one-shots, a lot of one-shots. I will add random images up here because I don't have all of it. I have the entire run of this because I was around when they released. I wasn't around because much of the Marvel Mangaverse is released in Japanese only. I have some of the things released in English. I don't have all of the things released in English. I looked on eBay and I could have bought it, but then this video would have come out in 2 months instead. But let's look at the things I do have. They did release again a 2-volume series with the entire Avengers and X-Men and so forth. But I have this run, X-Men Ronin, which again focuses on Wolverine. 1 of 5 miniseries. Again, Wolverine, where he has a techno claw, laser claw, very cool. And here we have on number 1 it says 1 of 5, and here it says 2 of 6. So unless they thought they suddenly would go up to 6, but they didn't. It is still 1 of 5. I just, before I started this video, I spent 15 minutes looking for number 5 in the series, and it is on the back of this one. Good. 3 of 5, group shot of some of the X-Men. We have Cyclops, really cool designers on Cyclops. We have Jean Grey, Storm, and then we have a solo shot of Storm on number 4. And on the back, we have a very cute image of number 5 of 5. We have Jean Grey herself. Very popular cover for some reason. And other than that, they had some very popular Spider-Man one-shots, Spider-Man miniseries, adding images. And I think the entire run maybe had 20 volumes, somewhat similar to this, a bit larger, if we ignore the Japanese releases that were for the Japanese market. And then there was this also, like this, might not have been for kids. X-Men Phoenix, 1 of 3. Very, very unique design for Marvel. And you will notice this as soon as we move past the first in the series. It changes to Max Comics, and we have an explicit content advisory. You rarely get those in Marvel these days. X-Men Phoenix, and the same for number 3 Max Comics explicit content advisory. X-Men Phoenix, Legacy of Fire, the miniseries. And here we have, again, fine with advertisements on the back. But yeah, very, very different approaches. We have the cutesy anime comic girls, maybe aimed at teenage girls to get them into reading it, which is fine. And we have this, maybe not aimed at teenage girls, from Marvel. And that is the two Animefications attempts from 10 years ago. And now they seem to try again in the anime departments. I haven't yet seen any attempts on the comic book front. We might get some tie-ins. I've seen covers. We get covers sometimes, but we don't get comic books. As far as I know, again, corrections in the. I would love corrections in the comments, because if there have been releases, I might pick them up. I love these kinds of stuff because, as you might have seen on my channels, I love anime and I love comic books and I love Marvel and DC. So please let me know in the comments if there's something I've missed besides the release cluster of releases 10 years ago and the new stuff coming out in anime, animated movies coming out. I hope this was interesting for somebody. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.